Okay, today we are looking at the website for Looking Glass Travel, which is Sue's website. And this website is a little bit different than others that I've looked at because of how it's built. So, a lot of times when I'm looking at a website, it's been built on basically a mainline website builder like Wix, Squarespace, something like that. In this case, this website is actually built on Travefy, which this is the first Travefy website that I've had submitted. Um, so this review is actually going to be a bit more technical than most that I do because potential visitors are going to have a very hard time finding this site no matter what is done with the look of the site, with the copy on it, because of how it's built. So, when you're looking for a website builder, you want to use one that integrates well with search engines if you are hoping that potential clients will come through search. So through Google, through Bing, anything like that, whether that is local business or potentially national business, if it doesn't matter where you're based. And one of the things that I have found with website builders that are geared specifically to travel advisors, actually, it's not just website builders, to any technology that I have found that is geared specifically to travel advisors, is that it does not do as good of a job as a lot of the mainline solutions. So, in the case of websites, there are several website builders out there that specifically market to travel advisors, including Travefy. So this is nothing specific to Travefy, but to any website builder that is outside of the mainline builders. Um, they cater strongly to travel advisors. You can do things like integrate your itineraries into your website, um, do things that they think are selling points for advisors. But where those websites fall short is on the technical side that gets new business to an advisor. So, in the case of Travefy, one of the things that they do is it, it's called domain masking. So up here in the search or in the URL, you see that it says sunowikitravel.com, but it is a masked domain. So it's not a redirected domain, it is masked. The domain on the back end is still Travefy instead of the domain that you see, which becomes a problem because search engines don't understand what they're seeing. So while you may work on integrating keywords into your copy, into writing copy that will convert well when somebody lands on your site, because of the back end structure, it's very hard for anybody to find your site. So, something that search engines rely on is what's called a sitemap. So, it's a map, just like it says, of your website. What pages link to what pages. It gives um, a search engine basically the flow of your site, what each of those pages is about, and helps that search engine determine if the content of your site is what a searcher is looking for, and if it is, it will show them your website. So the best way to check your website sitemap is to go ahead and, whoops, wrong thing, go ahead and paste your website URL, and then you're going to type in sitemap.xml. And what that should do when you hit enter is take you to what looks almost like an old DOS format page that actually shows you the text of your sitemap. But if I do that with a Travefy website, you can see that instead of going to a sitemap, it goes to a Travefy website with page not found. So to show you what this should look like, I am going to go ahead and type in my website and put in sitemap.xml. And this is what you should get. So it goes to sitemaps.org. It shows you that there are 4 sections to my website sitemap. It has blog tags, blog categories, blog posts, and then the main pages of the website. So this tells a search engine like Google what is in my overall sitemap, which is basically submaps, which then if I went to each of these, it would list the URLs that fall under that sitemap. So my entire website would be listed in either the main sitemap or a sub sitemap. The fact that a Travefy website doesn't do that is a huge problem because it means that search engines, no matter what text you put in that website, they will not understand the structure. And so the time that you're spending trying to build that site, while it will benefit you if people are navigating directly to your site, say you're handing out business cards at an event, and those people go to your website and become clients. That's great, it will work that way. But nobody is going to find your website unless they specifically type in your domain name, which most people that you're looking to reach probably are not doing. So the first thing I would do is look at taking your website off of Travefy. Normally, I don't advocate for or against any specific website builder, but in this case, if you want people to find your site, they're not going to be able to. So that would be suggestion number 1, to look at Wix, which I really like. Showit is another option, or Squarespace, or obviously there is just WordPress. You could purchase a website template basically and build it on WordPress. But if you're looking for a drag and drop builder similar to Travefy, something like Wix is probably your best bet. And that way you will have the sitemap that you need in order for search engines to be able to refer people to your website. That being said, Sue is in a bit of an interesting situation here because she has a blog that she had prior, it looks like prior to being a travel advisor. So I do always recommend, if possible, that that travel advisors do have blogs. It's a great way to integrate keywords to rank better in search engines. So the fact that there is a blog already is really good. But the interesting thing here is, we'll just scroll down here. So there's a section on the website that says, why should you use a travel advisor? And this is actually a link to a blog post. But if I click to read the post, it takes me to, this is actually Sue's blog, but there's nothing on this page that tells me immediately that this is Sue's blog. So the first time I clicked through to this, I actually had to look into more information on this blog to try and figure out why a travel advisor website linked to what seems to a consumer who doesn't know you seems like a random blog post. So if I scroll down, we have reasons that you should use a travel agent, and then we have the actual blog post itself. There's some good information in this post, but because of the way that this is structured, with this post living on a separate blog, this post doesn't do anything to drive traffic to your website. Um, so my second recommendation would be to go ahead and move this website to another platform, but then to also recreate these blog posts, any blog posts that you have related to um, your to the travel side of your business. I would go ahead and repost those blogs on a blog that is directly connected to your website URL, to your travel agency website. So you would want to have sunowikitravel.com/blog and then have that site or have that post. Because that way the keywords that are in that post can start to drive traffic to your travel website. Otherwise, you're driving traffic to your blog, which is good. And I assume that you have monetized this blog because you do have some advertising on here. I would assume that you also have some affiliate links on here. The blog is a separate business for you, but you might as well use the posts that you've already put time and effort into to also build up the keywords on your travel agency website. So normally on a review, I go a lot more into specific suggestions for the site itself. Unfortunately, because of how the site is structured, those suggestions won't do anything unless this site is moved to um, a provider, a service provider, where those suggestions would be beneficial. So for the case of this website, I would go ahead and look at migrating this site to something like Wix, Squarespace, or Showit, so that you can take advantage of the blog post that you've already written, of that SEO that you've already built, but can't basically pass through to this website right now. So that is definitely something that we can do for you at the Savvy Travel Advisor, because you do have a website already built and you would just be looking at first to move it to a different provider. It wouldn't be a full build. So if you currently have a Travefy website or any other website built on a travel advisor specific platform, go ahead and head over to the savvytraveladvisor.com, hit the schedule consultation button, and let's talk about moving that site to a website provider that can actually get you the traffic that you want to get. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you.